I'm gonna try doing my makeup with my glasses on. It's always very difficult because I can't see very well. I really can't see very well. I'm very, very blind without my contacts or glasses. But my contacts have been bothering me. I'm gonna wait until later to put them in, just so I don't have irritated eyes today. So, hi guys, it's Lillian the Postmodern Mom.
Mommy.
Welcome to my channel. This is a makeup monologue, and today I'm going to be talking about how wives can inspire their husbands to masculinity. This is a topic that Felipe suggested in his recent appearance on my makeup monologue. So I figured I would address it while I'm doing my makeup. I cannot see very well, so you can probably see that my contacts are quite heavy. I have to wear, not my contacts, my glasses are really heavy. I have to wear them, and without them, everything is very blurry. But anyway, it doesn't affect the way that I'm going to put my makeup on. I might have to just get really close to the mirror to see properly. So, first of all, what is masculinity? What is femininity? Masculinity is the unique element of what makes man different than women. And in this modern world, it's been totally misconstrued and confused. The qualities that I see in masculinity and what masculinity is leadership, because the way that we understand the Bible and how the Bible teaches the relationship between men and women is a hierarchical structure of authority where men are leading and women are obeying. Of course, there are exceptions to that, because women can lead in certain situations, especially with their children. They should lead their children. Women can lead among other women as well. There's always a danger in that though, because if there's no oversight from other people, including men, then we have sometimes a very unbalanced viewpoint when you have just women together. But anyway, the male qualities are to provide, to protect, and to lead their families. And what can we women do to help with their masculinity? Let's see if you can see this.
Look, I'm battery up.
The battery. Oh, I can see now that my camera battery is low as well. So, how do women inspire men to masculinity? One of the huge things that is difficult to get women to do today is to not desire to lead everything. I think feminism has really damaged women in this idea that women somehow think that they should and they need to be the leader and corrector of men, and that if they don't do that, that they're somehow a doormat. And we've talked about that before on my makeup monologues. So the first knee-jerk reaction to try and avoid for a woman, if you want to inspire your man to masculinity, which is a good thing, is to not try and subvert authority and not try to be the one to constantly step out, talk over your husband, or to make decisions for him, or to correct him in public, and to let him lead. Let him be let him feel the role of the one who takes greater responsibility for his family. He's the one that is ultimately responsible for his family. So, as a woman, just look to your husband to lead and give him more opportunity to lead, instead of just trying to jump in and say, I want to do this, I want to do that, or even just trying to overtake him or convince him of your decision is the best decision. Give him some time to think. Give him some time to realize the importance of his role as a man and father and husband. And I think the more that we women expect our husbands to make decisions that they don't necessarily even need to consult us. The more that they realize that we trust them and their decision, the more they step up and they make wiser decisions, because they're no longer being treated like a child, living in their parent basement or something like that. That's not happening anymore. And as they embrace their role of, look, we depend on you and we honor you and we want to know what your decision is and we will follow you wherever you want to lead our family, the more they start to make decisions that are compatible and are good for the family, for the children, for the wife. And I think that the problem with feminists today, there's several problems, but one of them is that they don't want the man to lead and have authority, and then the men just end up retreating back into their den playing video games until 2 or 3 in the morning. Like they revert back into maybe moody teenage years where they've got an overbearing mother and they're just gonna try and burrow themselves away, and so that they can have their peace and quiet away from the nagging wife or the disrespectful wife. And we don't want that, ladies. We want our men to be strong. We want our men to be leaders of the family, of society, because they're the ones that ultimately have a better disposition. They have a better disposition towards being disagreeable and standing up for the truth, and even though it's hard, or defending their families, or fighting our wars to keep us free. These are things that we rely on men for, and we should give them the respect and honor due by showing them that we respect and honor them in our own homes, in our own relationships with them. So that's 2 major things. The first one is, the major thing is try not to be the leader, try not to be the authority. And the second thing is to look to him first. So 1, stop being the leader. 2, look to him to be the leader. Ask him first. Sometimes when we're in a situation where, when I get too comfortable, I start talking too much, and I know I shouldn't. But when I'm, really thinking about how I'm presenting myself as a family, I don't talk as much, and I wait for my husband to answer first, or I look to him if someone's asking me something, and I want to make sure I'm being respectful. I'll look to him and just make sure that he wants me to continue talking, or if he wants to step in for an answer. And I love it because oftentimes I look to him because I don't know how to answer something, and he's already come to know that I welcome and enjoy his input, and I need it. And so that, I think that people, when they see us as a couple, I think they see that relationship and they really like it because it looks like we trust each other, which we do. And we trust each other on every single thing we talk about and we think about, as little as, what am I tweeting on Twitter? So I've said this before, that if there's anything that I tweet that he doesn't agree with, that he doesn't like, that I'll take it down. Who cares if it has 1,000 or 2,000 or 10,000 likes and retweets? If it's not edifying and if it's not a good representation of myself and him and our family, then I'm going to obey him and I'm going to take it down. So 1, don't be the leader. 2, look to him to be the leader. 3, obey him. Be submissive. It's out of love. It's not out of oppression. We submit to the authorities, the government. We don't throw rubbish out on the ground. We don't litter. We respect each other. Formula Q, you take in your advice from your boss. If they say, you need to put in the hours, or my battery died twice, so now I'm on my 3rd battery, so thank goodness I have 3. Let me do my mascara. This is a CoverGirl Lash Blast Lash Mascara. It's hard to say. Okay, so 3 was to obey him, and it should start on the little things. Start with the little things first. If you're really uncomfortable, or maybe start with the big things first, if that's easier for you. For example, if he wants to buy a certain house and he really loves it, then you obey him. You can say, I'm not sure about this, I'm not sure if I like that, but you're not going to fight him on it. You know, trust his decision and that he is thinking for the whole family. And ultimately, remember, he is the one ultimately responsible for the health and wealth of the family. So I have a friend who just recently went through this, in fact. They were looking at a house closer to where we live because they want to be closer to other homeschooling families. And in the end, after searching for months and months, the husband found a house that he really liked, and it was just down the street from where they are. So they weren't any closer to us, and they were putting their house up for sale. And the wife said she wasn't really happy with it, but she was being a good traditional wife and supported him and said, you know, I trust you. And then COVID happened. They were still going through the house process, but the chain broke. And then now they found another house which they both really love. So, you know what? Even if it went through and it worked out, what she showed her husband was worth it. Was so much greater than fighting him on it and then, you know, having that enmity between each other and fighting for that authority, which would have just made things much, much worse. So God really blessed her heart in her desire to please her husband and show him respect, because it ends up that she just found a house that's closer to us now, and they both really like, and there's different elements to this house that they really enjoy, it's working out better for the family. So, and then for the little things, you know, if you're in, let's say you're having an argument or something, or you've said something that your husband has taken offense to, or just feels unhappy about, then, and he says, this happens to me too, if he says, oh, let's just not talk about this, let's just end this conversation, we'll finish this later, or he walks away, I mean, I used to like run after him, I used to like berate him for hiding or for being a coward, for not wanting to talk things out or not communicating, and man, that was the wrong thing to do. And so now I think, even if I don't understand, or even if I feel like I want to continue talking about something, if he says, you know, this conversation's over for now, I just obey, just submit, and later on, it's so much better for the relationship than to like twist his arm into talking to me or etc. So I don't think I'm gonna put this on because I don't have my glasses on. I can't really see. Okay, now I can see that I've got this on my face. That hasn't turned out too badly. Good, and I can put my concealer on, which I think really does the trick these days, this concealer. So really that's all I have to say is, if you do those three things, that would be amazing. There's the fourth thing, and there's so many things you can do to inspire a man to masculinity, is to be more and more feminine. Just like in a household, when you have a child who's like really loud and talkative, then you end up having another child that's just a little bit less, and kind of balances out the dynamic in the family. So this is true for marriages as well. If you have a man who's really masculine, it's so nice to balance it out with a feminine wife. And conversely, if you're really feminine, it inspires your man to be more masculine. It just naturally seems to work like that. So if you want to inspire a man to masculinity, work on your femininity. And then the last thing is pour yourself out for your children and for your family, and he'll see that sacrifice and want to reward that sacrifice with more masculinity, with being a stronger, more confident man. And that just goes back to the whole thing when I talked about how men turn into boys when they are being mothered by their wives. We don't want that. We want to pour ourselves into our children by sacrificing ourselves for our children. And the man responds in like manner by sacrificing himself for the family, by working harder at work, by making plans and decisions for the well-being of the family, especially in the long run. And I've got to go because the kids are going crazy up there. So I'm just gonna put my lip stuff on. This one here. Alright, so thanks so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment below and let me know other topics you'd like me to talk about. And be sure to check out my other family channel, the Postmodern Family channel. We do a lot of reaction videos as Americans living in the UK. But this channel here at the Postmodern Mom is supposed to be about motherhood, traditional housewife duties, homeschooling, and more. So thanks for watching. Bye! I think there's such a joy in keeping a good home, in watching your children grow up, in cooking and cleaning and supporting your husband.